Dave here. Thank you for joining me out here on the farm. Now, I wanted to talk about today the Acer Aspire 1. Specifically, this is the D250 model. Now, I bought this back in 2009. It was around $300 Canadian, maybe slightly more. Initially, it comes with 1 GB of RAM, 1.6 gigahertz Intel Atom N270, which honestly is kind of a weak processor. It's only 32-bit. And so what got me interested in firing this thing up again is I like to play around with cryptocurrencies, and there are a lot of cryptos that there's an incentive to run the wallet all the time. They kind of gives you a little bit of interest, so to speak, and you might not be in that space or care about it, but that's what made me fire this thing up. I wanted a little computer that I can leave running 24/7, that's cheap on power, and so I had this sitting in a closet. There was a problem with Windows XP long time ago and some kind of driver issues, and I don't even remember what it was. I fired it up, still having issues, couldn't get the Wi-Fi to work on it. So I thought, you know what, it's time for a complete format of it. And, let's see what this thing could do. So the first thing I did is I had turned the old Aspire 1 on, and once I saw it was running, despite all the driveware errors, I decided to shut her off, take out the RAM. I took the RAM to a local computer store and asked them if they had a 2 gig stick. They did, and they just gave it to me for free because it's old and outdated and the stick was used anyways. And the RAM they gave me was clocked much faster than what came with the computer. However, I put the new RAM stick in and it booted up no problem. There was no settings to adjust in the BIOS. Worked great. So if you are going to be using one of these older Acer Aspire ones, I would definitely upgrade the RAM. Get 2 gigs in there. If you can find a 4 gig stick, great. So after that is the OS. Now, this thing originally came with Windows XP, was designed for Windows XP. The problem with using Windows XP in late 2019 or 2020 is there's no new software updates for it. And it's not just about the OS, it's really about the third-party software. So you want to use Firefox or some web browser that can view your favorite web page. Well, you're going to struggle with that, especially with all the add-ons that are always happening. So I decided to format everything since I was having driver issues anyways. I installed a Xubuntu distribution of Linux, which is designed for laptops and smaller machines. Now, I had problems with it. It kept glitching out. I couldn't get it to boot properly after the installation. So I formatted again, and this is Xubuntu, and it seems to run great. It's designed to run on machines that are desktops as well as laptops, and use as little system resources as possible. So it runs awesome on this Acer, and I would definitely recommend this distribution for the Acer Aspire 1. Now, the biggest issue with this is the Intel Atom chip that came with it. It's only 32-bit. You're going to have a little bit of trouble trying to find 32-bit versions of Linux software. There's lots of it out there, and back in the day, everything was 32-bit. However, when you click on anything, it seems to be an expired link. When you're trying to download dependencies, you can't seem to find them. So if you are looking for a small computer to run stuff on, I would definitely find a 64-bit Aspire 1. If you go to Acer's website, they have a list of all the standard processors, which ones were 64-bit and which ones were 32. As I mentioned earlier, I'm interested in the world of cryptocurrencies. So some of the older coins, we're talking coins prior to 2016, 2015, like for example, Red Coin, they have wallets that run 32-bit. Now, if you were hoping to find one of these little guys and then do a bunch of staking on it with some modern coin, well, it's not going to happen unless you get the 64-bit. So there's a vast library of other kinds of software as well. And, all the basics, your basic office software, everything, it runs no problem. And there is a lot you can download of just generic stuff. I like to mess around with YouTube and that kind of stuff. So it did take a while. However, I did find a 32-bit version of OpenShot that seems to work really well. So you can actually do some video editing on this. And the webcam that comes with it is only 0.3 megapixel. However, it works. I'll make a little video and then I'll include it as part of this, and just so you can get an idea. And in case you were wondering, this is what the video quality of the webcam is. I'm sitting by a window and I have the lights on in the room, and it's still, from my view here, looks fairly dark. This program Cheese is kind of neat. It does allow you to do different special effects and stuff like that. It appears I can't seem to do them while recording. But anyways, all in all, it's not a bad little machine if you were to get it for cheap or for free. Thanks for watching.